to follow along in this to laugh at me. I just got the game now.
Oh, I didn't.
Fair
I
enough.
was trying to help out.
Actually, on the subject of turn 16 fouling, there's one exception to that. And you only do it in like actual cup leagues where you want to give like their next opponent an advantage by taking out one of their players.
But you got to be careful about that because, like, if you need, depends on who you need to win. If you need their opponent to win, you do it. If you don't want, if you need them to win, you don't do it.
Oh,
It's all meta.
There's an exception with that though. If you have no chance of winning, then you want to make the team that you want to win.
I respectfully disagree with that. If somebody can't win on their own merits, then fuck them. I'm not gonna turn 16 foul to help somebody else.
I'm going to turn 16 foul in like the last match of the of the tournament if I'm a fair chance of playing the guy
Again,
that I'm going up against in the playoffs. If I actually don't like the matchup, only if it's a player that's going to give me a problem as well.
so let's just say, for
the
example,
entire thing is situational at best.
in the Moo League, there's a turn 16, one turn touchdown skating player, and you're playing. You both have won for however it happened, 15-0.
He gets fouled.
Game 16, you fouled the shit out of him.
By the way, game is starting up.
Yeah, you absolutely foul in that case because there's a good chance that you'll come up against him in the playoffs.
And it's snowing.
I had to do it.
Oh, that's not a good start.
No, actually, that's just fine. Pro elves don't want to throw more than a short pass.
Snowing's GFIs.
Yeah,
And-
it's also
Yeah, and
short,
short.
quick passes.
Yep, removes the long pass.
I don't know Hawkbane, I'm sorry. Or Valkana.
I believe there is something in the discussions page on the community tab.
You may have to dig. It may be on there already somewhere.
I will have a look now and endeavor to find it.
So basically everyone was saying that the lineups and the single skill up that's been chosen so far for these teams is reasonable.
So the single skill up on Amazon, if you didn't see, was Sure Hands on the Thrower. You can argue for another blotcher with 4 rerolls, but Sure Hands is not a bad bet because you might want the reroll from a hit or whatever. It's a coin flip in my mind.
Alright, there's 3 good skills. It really depends on player preference. Sure Hands is good. Well, I personally favor Accurate because I do my team as an Ulfi team, so I do like 2-turn touchdowns with passes.
Seems like a lot of
actually
people
helps.
seem to like 2-turn touchdowns when playing this as a passy team.
But don't get me
I
wrong,
would tend to agree
I
with
bash
that.
the crap out of them before I do
Okay,
it,
it
but
is
I still
indeed.
do it.
It is indeed in the community page. Go to discussions, the discussions tab, and to the second page. It's posted by Halsifer, and it's 50% pre-touchdown sound files. The download link along with instructions to sort it out.
Okay. So, good start, good defense.
One thing I would do differently, Joker, is your lineman that is the side that has 2 linemen in the front of your back defenders. You should have put one of those linemen where the thrower is, because the guy out on the wing is the one that's going to get hit, and you don't want your thrower to get hit.
I
Yeah,
thought the first guy
But that's
was
a
gonna
really
get hit.
minor point.
no, well,
so-
because knocking the blitzer out doesn't actually open a hole. So you're going to take the guy out on the wing, so you've got that run down the sideline.
Basically, what Fake's gonna do, and he's gonna go on the thrower one because he doesn't have block, and the other side
Or
does,
sidestep.
or sidestep or anything. Is he's gonna mark a guy on the blitzer, on your left. He's gonna mark a guy on the sideline, put a guy on the sideline to hit the thrower. Then he's gonna blitz in to be in base with both of those, the thrower and the blitzer, and get a 2-die blitz against the thrower before dodging out on a 3 or rerollable.
Okay, then I am mistaken. I thought the blitzer was protecting the thrower, so it's the opposite way around.
He is
Correct.
protecting him from being surfed.
The
That
safest
thrower cannot
place
be surfed.
with the formation you're using, the safest place for people to stand is where your catchers are.
And that's where you want your catchers before they get dodged.
Yep. And, then
And
the
everyone
next
has a million
safest
rerolls.
would be where the two linemen are on the inside in front of the catchers, because there's no advantage to punching a hole there, because the linemen and the catchers are still providing tackle zones to dodge through, so there's no tactical advantage to hitting the linemen there.
So this is basically what they're talking about right here.
That's
Yeah,
exactly.
this is where my thrower gets killed.
No. Probably not.
The problem with this is that now he has to dodge, because
Yes.
that blitz blocks off his alley.
Alright, well, he's never had a problem with dodging with Amazons.
Well, as Amazons,
We'll
I
see.
shouldn't, but
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, that's not the
fails
easiest
one time.
dodge. You do fail every
He
once
fails
in a while.
one in every 3 chance.
How'd
He
my
fails.
dodges go with my
The
elves
reroll.
there?
Right.
Yeah.
Last game we played, Rev.
Yeah, great. You rolled all ones, and the occasional 2 when there was tackle zones around.
Yeah,
And
given
usually resulted in a missed next game.
2 missed next games from dodges, from failed
Good.
dodges with a reroll.
given this actual setup, I probably would have done it differently. I would have put blodgers on the LOS and crashed the middle. But that's only because it's a 1000 pro elf and they don't have any defensive skills, so it's a reasonably high chance of putting down all 3 linemen.
Oh, on fake? Were you saying for that?
Yeah.
Fake?
If I was fake, I would have had at least one blitzer, probably 2 in that line,
I
and
would-
then just crashed the middle and ran through rather than try to fiddle with the wing.
Alright, get ready to laugh, everybody.
But then that's a choice.
Wait,
because
wait.
you
Oh,
got
don't-
less blodgers in the backfield. Or
Don't worry.
Remember?
Scoring threat.
Mark people first.
Okay, before you move anything, consider your movement range. So the guys like the catchers and the linemen to the right of the field or to your left, they need to shuffle over, and the guys on the wing, the blitzer and the lineman out on your right-hand wing, need to come into the middle, rather than just running the nearest guys in and then have your blitzer and your lineman in the back play shuffle across.
So basically,
So-
those guys who are really far out of the action, make sure that they're going to at least be able to be relevant next turn.
Yeah, so I will preempt that and say, I
Man,
take
my
when
line took a beating there.
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I say I click on players and see which players can score, which players can't score. I know the catcher can score. The blitzer, I think, can score.
Oh yeah.
They both can score.
You
Yeah,
mark
they're
those
both
players.
MA6.
You put a guy or 2 on each. Yeah, that's on your side of the field. Make it harder for them.
Also, if you're going to, like, say, run the 2 catchers over to the scoring threats, you wouldn't stand them side by side. You'd stand them apart, like on each corner. If you could make it so that he can't knock out both assists with one guy, make it so he can't base them both with one piece.
Oh, so it's a diagonal thing I should have done.
Yes.
that.
Yeah. Put him on the corners so that he can't actually knock out assists with one guy. So, like, I'd be rotating number 8 and number 6 over to mark 4 and 7.
Yeah, his guys that are scoring positions. Because if you're not going to get that ball, he's too far back for you to get. You need to stop him from scoring. So the way you stop an elf team or a team playing like an elf team is you base up their players that are in scoring range, the threats, and then you move a guy or 2 forward to go after the ball. But your primary focus needs to be the guys that are in range to score every
Wait,
single time.
base? I was told never to base with an elf team.
That's a good guideline. However, it's not necessarily appropriate when playing a team that's okay. Amazons can be bashy. I'm not going to say they can't. My team, the tie rated, is an example of this because they have a lot of blodge, a lot of blocks, a lot of dodges, etc. So Mighty Blow. You do not base a dwarf team. You do not base a chaos team. You do not base a chaos dwarf team. A Nurgle team, a Khorne demon team, a Norse team, you don't base. As elves, You come across humans, you think about basing. You think about whatever.
And in
Alright,
the
well,
case
here's
of
something really stupid I'm gonna try, so what the hell.
No, that's actually not a bad move.
yeah, no, that's perfectly acceptable. That's
I see
I
what
mean,
he's
I
doing.
would have.
Is he blitzing out with number 1?
Not blitzing out. I
Yes,
assume he's gonna
I'm
dodge out
gonna
and blitz
blitz
4.
out.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Those two that you run through to stand in front of the cage, they would have been the ones I would have shuffled over to mark the scoring threats because they were the closest, and then run everyone else in to cover the hole that they left.
Wait,
Because
I'm sorry, I missed what you said. What numbers would you have done differently?
I would have run 6 and I would have run 5 and 9 initially. They would have been the ones I would have shuffled over to mark 4 and 7.
Oh, wait, you better quickly do your turn.
Yeah,
man. You
you
got
do
20
your
seconds.
blitz, then we'll
Yeah,
talk.
do your turn, and then we'll discuss afterwards.
I would
yeah, I
not
know.
have,
I'm in surf range. I know.
I would have actually blitzed. So you see where you have 2 players against his blitzer in your backfield?
Yes.
I would have probably blitzed number 4, his blitzer that had 2 players in base with him, and pushed him towards his half with a 2-die block. Probably gonna knock him down, whatever. Even if you don't, you push him, and then you have 2 people on his catcher. Right now, all he has to go is he blitzes with a blitzer, blitzes with a lineman against your thrower or your catcher, number 14, whatever it is, and his catcher's free. Doesn't matter what result as long as it's not double skull.
Yeah, but I messed it up way earlier when I still had 1-on-1 and 1-on-2 and moved my guys into his backfield.
No,
Yeah,
not
no,
really.
you should
Well-
move guys into his backfield, or at least when you're playing elves or any team that can pass, you should definitely have a scoring threat at all times. That's perfectly acceptable. So number 6, where he is right now, that's great. That means if he loses the ball at any point from now on, that guy you can just throw to him and he can shoot off down the pitch and you're great.
I think in the situation you
Wait,
had
you
for your-
mean number 8 on my team, not number 6?
Number 8, sorry, yeah, I've got it minimized there. Or I should go full screen so
Yeah.
I can actually see what I'm talking about now.
No, that's
but
fine. I
yes.
just got lost.
Yeah, no, sorry, your number 8's fine. Now, I would have, rather than moving number 5 and number 9 down to where they were, I would have moved them over to where your number 6 is now and blocked, and put more tackle zones there, made it really hard to score because the guys that were caging up around the ball, they're not a threat at the moment because you couldn't get to them, and they're not in scoring range. But those 2 guys that are in scoring range, they are your number 1 priority.
his 4, his 7. And
Yep,
with
and
your
when
last...
you...
Go ahead, Rev.
Yeah, and what you're saying about not basing up as elves, it's okay to base up against someone who you're at equal strength with, especially if you can put them at a strength disadvantage by marking them with more players. If he can only find 1 dice blocks and 2 dice uphill, it's acceptable to base them up.
And what I was saying you should have done at the very end with your last guy, number 1, was instead of blitzing his number 2, I would have blitzed his number 4. You had a 2-die 2-die for you. And I would have hit him, and then doesn't matter what result I had. 2 pushes, as long as it's not double skull, really, he pushes away, he's pushed towards his sideline, so away from the end zone he needs to go, and you're in base with that catcher. So he has more people in base with the catcher. It's just one more thing he has to do before he can score. The best way to stop people from scoring is to make them roll more dice. Because they will fail.
A really
That's it.
small thing, notice that also before I did this whole passing thing, I've marked a lot of your players in case it gets fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
Like I've got a guy in your catcher, I've got guys in these guys. And now the question is, do I take this 50 or this 66% chance GFI? I probably will.
You have to.
Yeah,
I-
you have to. It's
I've blown- yeah, I-
ball.
I made it
Okay.
more obnoxious.
On
Yeah,
the
okay.
opposite side, elves want the other person to score quick.
Oh, Yeah,
Well-
And this is good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's good for you.
Very good for you.
He turned it over?
Yeah.
You didn't have a choice.
I made
You
my
could've taken
GFI
it
in the
yourself.
Blizzard, which is a 66% chance of succeeding, and it just didn't work that time.
So,
Okay, so I need to turn it off the numbers now, what you guys are looking at, and put it on player position, so I see where my thrower is. Oh,
yeah, sure.
he's fucked.
Hey,
Yeah,
Faye,
go
can you
ahead.
turn on positions too, please.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mess up the stream there by saying.
Don't worry.
Oh, you didn't.
You're right.
You're not messing up the stream.
Okay, so
This way
Here's
we
the
can
thing.
talk about the same thing.
it's nice to throw with your thrower. That's a nice thing to do, but you don't need to because you're elves.
You're 4
You're
agility on
already
everyone.
ball. Yeah, so anyone can throw the ball. It's nice to have the thrower, but you shouldn't spend your turn trying to work out how you're going to get your thrower out of there just so he can make the pass, because he's going to have to throw from there. So right now, your best bet would be the blitzer.
Before you do that,
Wait. Don't
before
touch
you
the
do that, you want to take your lineman that is on his half of the field,
Number 4. Autograph.
and you want to punch his blitzer. You'll get 2 dice because your catcher is standing next to him. You want to punch him from the side, and then push him up and away from your catcher so he's not
Towards the
touching your
thrower.
catcher. Yeah, towards the thrower.
Actually, towards the lineman you just moved. Would he be even better?
Yes. Yes, you could blitz from back behind. You could
Next
run
to the
around.
catcher.
Yeah, and blitz from next to the catcher. The right, would be your right hand side of the catcher, and push him up and towards the lineman.
Yeah, it's up and towards on our screen. It'll actually be down on
Yes.
your screen. So autograph
Yes.
punches his blitzer, and you
In-
want to push him. That works too. It's fine.
That
This
works.
is fine.
Yeah,
it
he's
would have
down.
Supposed to go the other way?
No, well,
They were
You
suggesting
have him down.
you go in behind your catcher basically with the lineman and push my blitzer up into this lineman here, like number 3 kicks. It worked out fine that way too.
Actually, what you did is still perfectly fine. You face his thrower, you knock down his blitzer. That's a good move.
Yep.
Now
Yep,
you want to
now.
take your blitzer and grab the ball and run down here a bit, and throw to your own catcher.
Give me a sec.
You
You
want to
wouldn't
go.
be making GFIs
don't wanna make a
for it either
GFI.
way. Not especially not in the Blizzard. I mean, normally you would consider maybe a GFI if it's going to make the pass easier, but in a Blizzard,
Not in
no.
a Blizzard.
And now
don't
you
do
run
it.
in and score a touchdown.
And-
Well,
wait,
yep.
actually, do you have enough movement?
Yes.
You do.
Yeah, he does.
Yep, and there's your touchdown.
Yeah, I had
And
no
that's
GFIs there.
That is how you elf.
Okay, so he
Mhm.
gave me the game by doing a GFI they didn't need.
No,
well,
no,
he
he
didn't have
I-
a choice.
I played the odds that making the GFI it was the most reasonable thing for me to do, but sometimes it doesn't work. It's like betting with a hand in poker that has a 99% chance of winning. You're always making the right move, even in that 1% chance it doesn't work out.
Because
Yeah,
the
but if
problem-
you would have
Oh.
stood there, no way I could have caught you.
Yeah,
could
no,
have.
You could have.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
go
You
elf.
absolutely could have. You had a
You had a
blitzer that
two
could have hit him.
Yeah, you had a 2-die block against him with only 1 dodge, 1 2+ dodge, and that was so it was a 2+, and then what?
A 1/3
blitzer
chance
that
to
could have
hit
hit him.
on 2 dice.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. He
that
wasn't
ball,
gonna
he
be able
wasn't
to hold
holding
on
onto
to
that
the
ball next
The-
turn, most likely.
The
Okay,
really s-
but would me as a newbie seeing it?
Oh, we would have
Easily.
told you it.
You'll
Yeah,
get
you would have seen it pretty easily there.
So that's the essence of what we're doing here. We're trying to get you to learn and see the things that you can do, so you become a better player. So you might not have seen right now, but we would have been, hey, you need to stop the ball. You want to have a 2-die block, but you want to minimize the amount of dice you have to roll. So how do you do that? So you can do this guy, get a 1 dice block with no dodges and no GFIs. This guy can do it with a dodge. So you do it, but you'd have to GFI to hit. So it'd be, well, he'll dodge out and just support, and the other guy will hit.
Fake, before you hit that, you are aware you're receiving.
Yeah, I figured that out. Don't worry.
I was just like, that looks like a very good defensive lineup, but you're not on defense.
Yeah, and see, now that you
Alright,
have the
so I moved
blitzers
the
over there, it's
blitzer.
kind of obnoxious for me to try and
Yeah,
get through.
The
That's really
blitzer
good.
outside from the thrower, and that's what you all said I should do, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
a very
Right.
good.
There's-
And I'm still going to try to do the same thing as I did last time, but it's going to be significantly harder for me because that's a blitzer there now.
With sidestep and block.
The
Will
only
they
other
start with
thing.
sidestep?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
pro blitzers start with sidestep. They're obnoxious.
I'm telling you, Fake just crashed his line with blitzers. It's easier.
Like,
Yeah, I have to
Yeah.
agree
Okay,
with
well, sidestep
He may be right.
is more of a hindrance than a help for me because I never know where to move.
We can help you with
That's
that.
well, yeah. That
We'll
always
help you.
depends on where you actually are at the time. There's no hard and fast rule as to where you should be putting him. So
I'm gonna do it the way Habel suggested, partially to show you something a little different, and partially because I
you
think
know
it may
how
be
I
better.
know it's the wrong choice.
Because Habel suggested it.
Yes.
You're a
No,
dick.
I think it's actually correct.
Okay,
in a
I
higher
really
TV
think
Pro Elf
I
team,
need
I would
to
never do it.
stop watching Knorr and start watching you guys because no, I mean Knorr is a great guy and he gives me a lot of info, but he really doesn't get into the idea of how to do different teams. Only the team he's playing.
Right.
The other thing
Yeah.
you need to recognize about Knorr is that, and he says it himself, do what I say, not what I do. If you watch his how-to guides,
He'll
they're
break those
completely
rules.
yes, his beginner's guide, he tells you one thing and then he breaks that constantly, and that's part of being a good player. You need to know when you can break those rules and when you can't. And as well, sometimes he just doesn't care anyway and does stupid things that he probably shouldn't. The odds aren't in his favor and there's no advantage, but he does it anyway.
See, Fake, I would have pushed him the other way.
No,
I
he's
would have
doing
pushed him
just
to the
fine.
left.
He's doing just fine. He's got a hole right now. All he has to do is get a push.
Okay, that's my fake life. Of course he's doing fine.
Oh geez,
I
I'm
would
like
push him
a
to the left.
I'm a
Right.
TGS newbie. I've been playing this game for maybe a few months. I'm not a terribly good player. I'm not a
The
bad
reason-
player, but I'm
Wait
not a
a
good
The
player.
reason I said he should have pushed to the left is he would have had two holes that he could go in, one from the right, one from the left, without any dodges.
He still
And-
hasn't blitzed, bro.
But
Wait,
he doesn't have to blitz at that point to expand the hole at all. It's done.
I fail to believe that you, as my fake life, are a noob. No way in hell.
Believe
Rob,
it.
how long have you been
Nice.
playing?
How long have I been playing? Including tabletop, probably about 8 years, but I didn't play for a long time in the meantime, between
Hey, Fake,
tabletop and
how long have
picking
you been
up.
playing? Fake's been playing for what? I'd probably say 6 months.
Like
No
a few
way.
months.
No way.
Yeah,
You can pick it up pretty quickly. I've been playing for about 8 years as well, 8 or 9 years. Probably actually 9 or 10.
I've been playing for 3 months.
So you can pick up the basics very quickly. You just got to kind of be able to go outside the box and see what other people are doing and adapt.
okay, so
I
at
mean-
this point, Joker, you should be looking already, okay, what's he got where, what can I do? So, who are you identifying right now as the biggest threat to your team? Who is the biggest threat to your team right now?
That
In your
catcher
eyes.
that's all alone.
How many
Correct.
is he in scoring range? First of all, click on the catcher.
Yeah, with 2 GFIs, but it's still scoring range.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. So, what's the strength of a pro elf catcher? Is it 2 or 3?
Three.
I'm thinking move this lineman over here.
Sorry, which number?
It has just started. It is Oz versus Brown.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
And then blitz with this guy here. With my blitzer.
Sounds
Yes.
Reasonable, correct.
Make sure when you do that you follow up.
Oh,
I
got,
disagree.
I
Well-
got both down and knock them down or follow
Yeah,
up.
Both
which
down.
is
Both
more
Take
down.
them
important.
both
Both
down.
down.
Yep, both down is fine.
And,
Now,
and
another-
then
Because
move
either
him
way-
up forward 1 to give my catcher a better block on the line.
It
Yes.
won't, because... Oh yeah, sorry, never mind, I'm getting ahead of my... I'm the
Yes,
guy
you are
on the stream
correct.
here.
Do it.
You are 100%
Yes.
correct.
Okay.
If you have the choice, you wanted to follow that up so that you could get an assist on the other guy. But this was just...
But take
No,
take
you
the
wouldn't
knockdown.
have an assist. It would have been canceled from the other one.
He would have
Yep.
moved the lineman to assist the catcher, and then once they knocked that guy down or pushed him away, he would have
Do
an
I
assist.
use my free reroll?
No.
to try to
Nah.
knock him
No,
out?
No.
No, not worth it.
No, there's no reroll needed for this. It's...
So,
when-
99% of the time, this is one of the things that it's do as I say, not as I do. If you have a push, you do not re-roll.
Yeah, never
Okay.
roll a safe block unless you're blocking someone with the ball, is my rule
And-
of thumb.
Or you absolutely need that player to go down for you to score a touchdown or something like that.
Yeah,
that
that
player's going to end up.
Yeah, which
And
is
even
the
then-
next thing.
Yeah, even then, only when it's the balance of the game is in, the outcome of the game is in the balance.
Okay,
So-
and here's where I mess up. I move the splitzer up to threaten, and he has 3 guys back there. Left side.
Don't worry about threatening the ball.
No.
His
Move
team,
him up.
is, his team is on the slow side. Putting that guy there is just going to get him punched in the face.
I move it up. I
What-
disagree. I move it up.
Let's back up a second. You see when you punched that lineman with your catcher?
Extreme. The blitzer I just moved up. I'm thinking putting him here, not all the way up, but putting him where he is right now. To give
Yep.
a threat, but not overcommit.
That's
I
not
think-
terrible.
I think that's a good option. I think that's probably the best option rather than moving all the way.
And
I personally wouldn't have done it. I would have moved to assist the thrower so that you could punch the line woman. But
Yep, I would have.
that's not a bad option.
Yeah, my personal approach would is if I just stand here where I've got all my players grouped up together, I can just bash him as he comes towards me, and if nothing gets past my line, he can't score.
Yes.
So pressuring the ball isn't needed. But that being said, if you hadn't moved that blitzer up, your lineman that's standing unmarked over on the right-hand side should definitely run through to be your scoring threat.
But
That
there is a
not
guy
needed now.
there. The lineman can get up this time, just run wherever he wants.
Yeah, but you still move that lineman up so you've got that scoring threat. You don't need to now. I mean, you can. I would probably just move the lineman in to cover the blitzes. I wouldn't base up because you're going there. You'd be basing up for an instant 2-dive block against blodgers, so you wouldn't base up. But that lineman would move up to stand next to the.
All right,
lineman
he's
who's
about
on
out
the
of
Okay,
ground.
time.
well I'm gonna
Yep.
do what I would
Do a thing.
an end turn, and
Yep.
just
Whoa,
leave
Okay.
my
wait,
lineman
wait,
there,
So-
his lineman can't move
So
without a roll.
let me tell you what I'm thinking as the opponent in the situation you've put me in, which is basically you have done a very good job of shutting down any chance I have at just scoring right now. I mean,
So
everything
shit out
is
of you.
covered. So basically, I'm going to cage up, I'm going to move the ball up the pitch safely, and I'm going to try and pound on your guys as best I can and knock something free so maybe next turn will work out a little better for me.
That's
Yeah.
why at the
Okay,
end of your
but-
turn,
If you do that, if you cage up and score on turn 8, it doesn't matter to me as an elf team, right? Because I can score, or I should score, whenever.
Yeah.
Correct. But you're looking at it like
there's a
don't
problem
try
with
and
that.
predict what's going to happen in 4 or 5 turns time. Just take it turn by turn.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I predict that what's going to happen is I'm going to lose. So
No.
nah.
You're
Never
fine.
get into that
But to
mindset.
back up to last turn, see this catcher he's punching right now? You should have dodged him out at the end of that last turn. If you would have
Yeah.
dodged him back, you could have assisted the thrower to punch that line woman. You want to look at your turn at the end, and if you've got no more moves that you need to do, see if there's any that you can safely do to keep you from getting punched next turn.
As an elf player, so remember when you said you were told never to be in base with somebody?
yes,
As an elf player, you can safely base other people if you can reduce it so they only have 1 die blocks and things like that. But you don't want to just stay in base with them. So after you've done everything critical like you did, you had that lineman left and you had the catcher left. You don't want to stay in base with that catcher. It's a free hit for the opposing team. You don't want to give them.
So, as you can see, and guys can always correct me if I'm wrong, I'm basically like, I cannot score this turn. I'm going to bash your guys, try and knock some people free, and get the ball up the pitch safely. So, next turn, hopefully things will work out better for me.
Yes.
This is
Okay,
where you
so
have to make a choice on this next turn. So you've got 2 guys that are stunned. He's got a cage that's close to the line of scrimmage. Either you go and cover and punch his guys that are scoring threats, which you kind of have to do. But if you do that, then you're not going to have very many people to try to stop the cage.
Elves
okay.
can't break the
So
cage at
with
this
an
level.
elf team, if I say for cage, let him take all the time he wants, I have to double up on receipt. Go like say this lineman right. number 11, I mark front and on the bottom on any receivers I can, and don't stay in base contact to anyone else.
You try not to stay in base contact where he can have 2 die blocks. That's sort of the thing. So you want to try and move them in pairs if they're near Amazons that are going to hit them, so that he can't find easy 2 die blocks. But otherwise, yeah, like his scoring threats, you need to put tackle zones on them if you can't knock them down, so that they're
Yeah,
taking
and I've gotten
negative
them.
modifiers.
I've gotten them spread out enough and far enough down that you're not going to be able to like cage them from both sides and be fancy like that, but at least put a person on each of them, I would say.
And if
Hey,
you're
Faith,
gonna
click on number 4, please.
Number
If
4
you're
on his
gonna-
team.
Yes.
Yep.
Another thing, if you're gonna mark guys, if you can only afford to put one person on each guy that's close to the end zone, put them on the side away from you towards the ball, so that they have a chance at an interception. It's only a 1 in 6, but it's a
No,
chance.
it's
I
higher.
would-
Right,
yeah,
put them
yeah.
away
Oh.
from the
Put
end zone, going back so they can take the ball if they get lucky.
Hey, Faith,
Right.
click his number 12, please.
I would argue that no with Habel on that one. You would the guys like 12, 4, and 8 that are in position to get around behind the Amazons would
They
go
go
there.
behind.
Yeah, they would go behind so that he has to dodge around or back and around, that he can't actually just dodge away from you, because he's got dodge. It's a 3+ with a built-in reroll. It's very easy for him to just catch and dodge away. He can blitz someone off.
Damn it,
His
that
number 2 is
14 was supposed to go to 9. I screwed that up.
Yeah, 14 should have gone to 9.
It's okay though with your blitz.
Yeah.
If you knock out the line woman, you can still, I think,
Yeah,
reach.
so take number 12. Is number wait, pick
Yeah, number
which
12.
one's is number 12?
Yeah,
a blitzer?
number 12.
Number 12 is a
9
blitzer
with
of
a
his.
dodge.
Yep. So hit number 12 and blitz his number 12.
Number
Oh.
11.
No,
Oh,
his number
blitz?
12. Blitz
Oh, I
is
No,
know.
number
his
12.
12. I see what he's
What?
talking
Yeah,
about.
what he was saying was take number 12,
Ooh.
blitz my 12.
That works too.
But
That
how
works
about
too.
how about this? 8 blitzing 12.
That works as well. I was saying
That
12
also
because he has
works.
block and he doesn't. That's why I said to do it with that. It's
Oh,
safer
I'm no
and another
longer
option.
looking at positionals, at who has or anything. I'm looking at numbers.
Hey, who cares? Didn't matter.
it works just fine.
And don't follow up. You want to leave him
Yeah.
in contact with 11. It's the same
I agree.
dodge, but it's a
Yeah.
harder catch.
Yeah.
If he tries to throw it before he catches it, or catches
And
it
now
before
that's
he runs.
a scoring threat down.
Nice.
Now, another
So-
thing.
Hold on one second, Apple. Sorry. So I was saying to blitz number 12 with your number 12 in between his 11 and your 4 and 14. So you knock him down if possible, and then you follow up through and keep moving until you get to number 9. That way you based him while still hitting, and then your 8 could have based up number 11 as well, or number 9 or whatever.
All right,
Right,
a couple
Okay,
things.
yeah, I see. I could have kept 9 in their place. They could not have moved out, but now they can.
When you picked up 3, you should have moved him towards 13 to assist with a punch from 1 on 13.
Yes.
Actually,
Okay, I
him being
lost
there is
which
not so
one
bad
is
as
my
well.
3.
No,
So-
it would have been better to knock 13 down.
He
than
still
where
would have had a
is.
2x2 stack. It's the same defense either way.
Yep.
Number 1, poison. You might want to dodge him behind number 3.
Alright, well, okay, tell me if this is wrong. I'm gonna do it, and then you tell me how bad it is.
That's not bad.
You're keeping.
Well,
some
he's
foundation.
doing a thing with number 6. Is the thing he's talking about. You guys are a little behind on the stream, of course.
Oh yeah, I moved 6 all the way
Yeah.
back in defense.
Yeah, you gave him ground, but at the same time, he was probably just going to move over and assist punch him and reset his cage there anyway. So you kept your guy from getting punched. You gave up a little more ground than you needed to, but it's a choice. Basically, by making that movement, you're ceding that ground. He gets to move his cage up 5 or 6 squares, and you think you've got a better chance to slow him down or put a good defense next turn, which is a really good calculation because you just knocked out one of his scoring threats, so you've got a one-man advantage now. So you've got a better chance of slowing him down.
And these
next
2
turn.
linemen, it's actually really good because it
Yeah,
now stops his
I
catches
moved
from
1 and
getting away.
6 all the way back. I'm thinking defensive right now.
Well, the
And
thing,
if he moves up past the half line, then it's either he rolls and makes it, or what the hell?
well, the only thing I would say against moving them all the way back there is that you're giving up that ground. If you had just moved them into a defensive formation closer to the line, you're giving up less ground, and it doesn't actually put them in any more of a danger. Like, as long as they're not based, one square back is fine because it obstructs the cage. Now, you've also got the speed advantage, so if it were reversed and you didn't have the speed advantage, moving is a good choice so that wherever he moves next turn, you can get at him.
This right
But-
here that is coming is why you should have punched number 13.
Okay, and do not tell me the answer. This is where I have a problem with sidestep. I'm gonna move, and you tell me how I'm wrong.
There really isn't a good choice.
There's a better choice.
Okay, what was the better
There's
choice?
a better choice.
Sideline?
No, I think that was a better choice.
Actually, no, that is the best choice because now for
I
him to
agree.
go to the
No,
left,
I don't
he's
mean
got to
as
go
in there
for
was a
tackle
better
zone.
choice than the one you made. I mean, there is better options than just anywhere. Like, there are better and worse options to where you could have put him. That would be where I would have put him without a doubt.
I agree.
All right, so I made the better choice without even knowing it. Go me.
The best
So,
possible
what was your reason about that, if I may ask? So just so we can kind of figure it out and see what you're thinking, and then we can influence that, change it, or tell you why if you don't know.
I had no idea. I just picked a spot and said go there. I
Okay.
really had no reason.
So I'm gonna say, and Rev, correct me if I'm wrong. You have six options in that hit, basically H shaped, and you're in the middle of the H. You want to stay close to number 9 because you want to be able to be a threat to number 9 if it goes to another turn, if whatever happens, you just want a chance to be a threat to number 9.
I moved dumb and made myself take a dodge, by the way, but I'm gonna do it.
Okay, but can't number 9 just get the ball now and score? So
Yeah,
that doesn't
But he
matter.
has to roll to do that. He has to roll to do that.
He has to
you're,
go to a
you're
pass.
planning that hopefully it'll fail.
Like
and
that?
Which would turn out to be a wonderful plan.
And it turns over, and you want to be able to be next to him. You want to be able to go. So you really have 4 options. So it takes that 6 options and gets rid of the 2 that are farthest away from number 9. You kind of go, well, I don't want to be trapped on the sideline. That's dodge that to make into tackle zones to go. So that,
And
or if I stand,
Alright.
somebody get served.
Now that turns over, let him take his turn. The
Yeah.
general rule of thumb here is now that the ball's on the ground, you want to punch as many people that are close to the ball as possible, and you want to put guys of your own near the ball so he can't pick it up. And then if you can, pick up the ball yourself if you can clear off all of his guys or all but one of his guys.
So
Okay,
a good
so I
start
don't
would
want
be
to be like breakneck, go for it, the hell with it all, score a touchdown.
Right here, no, because you don't have anybody that can score a touchdown anyway. So what you
I
want to do?
took my guys and marked the people that I thought would be score threats in case it failed.
the right now in this position, you don't have anybody that can score. So the best thing you can come out of this turn with is the ball in a fairly safe spot and knock down some of his guys.
You want to know the safest spot, in my opinion? Number 6's hands.
Ooh. You are bold and daring.
I don't even see a number 6 on. Oh, all the way over there. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You're-
All right. One thing, you move number 8 to number 2. Is that so that you can punch number 2?
No. That was
He's
so
just-
I could mark the ball.
I think he's
Okay.
just attempting to put 5 tackle zones on the ball.
I see. One thing is you want to put tackle zones on the ball, but you don't want to get too clumped up. If you get too clumped up, then he can do what's called chain pushing you off.
Actually, I can give you an example of that right now. Can you click on number 1 before and Joker, don't do anything yet, please.
His number 1.
His number 1.
Yep.
Oh, if I move 11 to the top, move 1 down and blitz, I can get number 12 onto the ball and
Yeah.
push it out so I can get it easy.
But I would say you should move number 1 to assist and blitz with number 11. You don't have to go for it at all then. If you blitz with
number one has to be a GFI to get under number 9.
You don't have to though.
And you don't. You can stand one off to the side, just above
Diagonal.
or below number 12, and still give the assist.
And then you blitz with number 11 and push that ball. You hit him, hit number 9, and you push him onto the ball.
That's right.
And it bounces.
Now 11 can blitz without any GFIs up around behind number 1.
This is especially important in a blizzard.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
'Cause you can
I
go and
was
get the
thinking
ball and
about
throw
his
off.
number 2, not his number 9.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
It's
Now,
also a safe
the one
off.
thing I will say before you blitz, though, look at number 6, look where he is, and what happens if this block goes bad, or the ball ends in a weird spot. Where do you go then?
Right.
I did
You were fine,
14,
but what he was suggesting was number 6.
6 over on the 2 GFIs,
Oh, actually, that works.
Remember,
the
we're in a
hell of it.
blizzard.
and then I get 14
He's just saying do something.
pushback
I was trying
on
to get
9.
I was trying to get a tackle zone off the ball or bounce the ball if he was knocked down. That's not bad. You're still an elf. You can dodge and then pick up the ball and then pass it to number 6.
If I was him, I would punch with 14 onto 9.
Wait, 14 on 9 is a 1.
That's a 1-die block.
I wouldn't
yeah.
do that anymore.
It's a 1-die block, but it pushes the last guy off of the ball and kind of walls him off and allows him to pick
That's a little
but
risky.
6, if I bring 6 in on the GFIs, isn't that a better odds?
Don't bring in the 6.
Don't.
Be an elf.
All right,
Dodge
China.
to pick up the ball to throw it to number 6.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Take
He
it out
was
of 14.
suggesting number
Dodge,
14
pick up the
dodge, try and pick up the ball in 1 tackle zone.
Do it.
He went with Habble's
throw it to
plan.
number 6.
See, this is a better plan. And chain
I
push
disagree.
9 into 2 and 2 into the sideline. There you go. Just
Yep,
like
this is
that.
good. Because now he's got
Now
7.
bring
That worked
6
out pretty
over
good,
to
too.
Cover the ball or pick it up, one of the two. 6 over to cover the ball.
Okay, well, then Knuckle
Oh, actually,
really
stop
hates
there.
me on that. I tried to pick it up. My bad.
Haha. Oh well.
That's why I said.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
he did 2 GFIs. I didn't tell him to do 2 GFIs. That was a perfectly
You
good
said
strategy.
pick it up or
Yeah,
cover.
without picking it up.
I
It
tried
doesn't-
to pick it up. I should have covered you, right?
Oh well, that's a
Yes.
simple miscommunication though.
It's alright. It's not the end of the world. I said
still got
I
2 tackles
would
on
have.
it.
Well,
Yep.
see, my way of playing, and this is why I should always be elf, and I tried ogre and chaos and human and
Ogre's a
everything
bad
else,
choice.
is
Yeah.
that I like the wide open game. That anybody at any
Mhm.
time can throw the ball and score,
So,
but
my
that's a
thoughts,
bad way to play.
No, it's
No,
not.
absolutely not.
My thoughts on that were, you wanted to get the ball out of those 2 tackle zones. Once they're out of 2, once the ball's in 1 tackle zone, as an elf, you can pick it up. It doesn't matter. You dodge in, oh, it's a 3+. I pick up the ball, oh, it's a 3+. I dodge out, oh, it's a 2+. It's easy. So,
Well, that's what I
when you
thought there.
well, when you had the both down and the push, I probably would have taken the both down. That would have taken
Yes.
number 14 to dodge into a tackle zone on a 3+, to pick up the ball on a 3+, to move towards number 6 and throw the ball.
If he had taken the both down, it would have been 2 dice on that guy to punch him instead of the 1.
Okay,
But-
wait. I lost you guys' conversation there.
Yeah.
I took the push on the one guy to get him off the ball. I
You
don't
had-
you had to
think
push him onto the
14,
ball.
14 doesn't have block, so both down would have killed us both.
You
No,
had
no, no,
11.
No,
the,
you
the
had
original
block.
one, where you pushed him onto the ball. Originally, you had the choice between both down and push, and you took the push. It would have been better to take the both down and clear the tackle zone off the ball, and then you could have taken a 2-die against the other guy near the ball, and then you would have had 14 unmarked and with no tackle zones on the ball to pick it up, and then you could have thrown it over to number 6, or even just moved number 14 away from the Amazons and moved 6 over to help cover.
I would
Oh,
like to
okay.
interject.
You're talking about previous turn, and with numbers, I have no idea who is who.
Yeah. Like
So-
all in all, still it's still a good position because you still got
Yeah,
two
yeah,
You've
tackles
got a
on the
bunch
ball.
of guys around the ball, and he doesn't have the ball. That's all you really give a shit about right now. No, he just had to use a reroll. That's good for you.
Hey, fake.
Yeah, but he
Oh, never
still
mind.
has 4.
Mhm.
I think I would have bounced that ball.
I'm gonna try a 4+ with a reroll for free.
You'd be surprised. Amazon's will rarely ever go through all 4 rerolls.
I disagree.
Yeah, exactly. With
I will
Oh,
eventually.
Throwing like this, he
suck. I know it. They
No.
just they dodge out of everything and run
Yeah.
for free.
That was like mildly risky, but not too badly. It was a 4+ to pick up the ball with a freebie reroll, which is a 75% chance, and then a 4+ to dodge with a reroll, which is another 75% chance.
Okay,
It's
so
a,
By
it's
the
a
way,
50%
good play,
success
man.
rate.
Thank you.
The long and the short of the last turn was you did everything perfectly or pretty good, except for the last bit where you tried to pick up the ball. Never take GFIs in the snow unless it's the life and death. If it's not life and death, never take the GFIs.
Well, I
You
made
had-
both GFIs and just missed the pickup.
No,
Right,
you
but you
failed a GFI because you fell,
and fell onto the ball.
Yeah.
and then you fell on the ball, and then
Oh.
so if you fail a
Okay.
GFI, you go to the square you're attempting to go to, but then you fall down.
Also, another thing, if whenever you're going to do GFIs, always click one square at a time. That way, if you fail one, you have to use a reroll and you make it, which you did. Then you failed the first one, then made it on the reroll. If you just stop moving there and you're safe. But because you had already clicked the whole movement, then the game continues to make you do the next one, and then you didn't have a reroll and you fell down. Whenever you're doing GFIs, always one square at a time.
Alright, hold on there, second Hubble. Okay, so because we only got 2 minutes for this bit. As elves, you gotta pick basically what side you want to break.
Yeah, pile up on the side you decide you want to break through.
Wait a minute, I can't do both sides to make you think?
No,
You only have one blitz.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't make a hole in both sides. So you might as well just load up one side.
Basically,
And
pick if you want to plow through my line woman or my catcher.
I kind of disagree a little bit as elves. You can put 2 people on both sides. You're only gonna pick one side to go through though after you see what the
Yeah.
lands.
So that other catcher that you just moved up could have went and stood near your lineman on the other side. The thrower falls back, and then you could have the catcher scoring threat on the other side, or you could put another lineman over near your lineman that's standing on the right, so that you've got some potential there, so he can't just shuffle all the way over the right.
And
Because right now, as fake life, especially if I have kick, I'm aiming left.
Okay, well this probably
I do not.
feel bad, but I think
Actually,
I
yeah.
have a concept.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
you chose the right side actually, because between the line woman and the catcher's the scarier one. And if you take her out with the blitz, even better.
Changing weather. Hey, it's a blizzard.
No,
Is it
Seriously?
really?
Yeah, it changed weather to a blizzard again.
Wow.
That's
No,
silly.
Oh, wow.
Well, you know why that is. Look, it's a 6 plus a 6 equals 12. You're just Captain Boxcar this week.
Apparently. Does that mean I get plus strength on my thrower?
No, but you get a doubly strong blizzard.
Alright, so first things first is to move the lineman and that one.
The lineman
That's right.
I was gonna say number 4.
yeah, you
to
don't
mark
throw the blocks
blitzer.
first on the line. You don't. Throw
Yeah,
the blocks
do the
first on
catcher
line.
part first.
Wait, I do not throw the blocks
Not
first
not
on
yet.
the line?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No,
Do
not
the
yet.
catcher
But they
first
were
because
all
it's
2+. They were all 2 die.
do the catcher part
Yeah.
first because that's the really important thing that if you need a reroll, that's what you really want it on. If you fail to knock down my line afterwards, not the biggest deal in the world, but if you fail to knock down my catcher, then that's going to stop your attempts at a 2-turn
He only
touchdown.
needs a push.
He does only need a push.
Alright, so-
I'm down a person.
Yeah, but if he throws skulls, that doesn't
Yeah.
then it won't.
What
matter.
Okay,
Rather
I
than-
think I'm gonna do this wrong, but I'm gonna try it.
You
I
want to put
think
your
I'm
lineman,
missing-
you want to base the catcher with your lineman right in the front. And then you want to take your blitzer and punch
Oh,
from
like
the
that.
inside
That's-
out on the catcher.
That's
I
fine.
did it right.
That's totally
You
fine.
want your blitzer to punch inside out. There you go, just like that. Perfect. And then
Yep.
knock him on his ass, or knock her on her ass.
And send a million elves down the field.
I think the number's a little smaller than that, but
yeah.
you know.
It
And
feels like
then
$1 million when you're trying to
breakthrough.
cover.
Yep, and don't clump them up. Spread them out.
Yes.
I think
Yep.
number 4
Also,
can even
a
mark the
rookie
blitzer.
mistake. The one small thing you did just there. You're not going to get out of range of any of his guys that are to defend you. So the deeper you run your catchers, after a certain point, it's just making the throws harder to get if you have to throw to that guy. So you want to run him about 6 squares away from the end zone. That way, if you have to, you can dodge back and around. 5 or 6 squares away from the end zone is the max, is as close as you want to be. Any closer than that, and you're just making it harder on yourself.
Now,
Okay, well, what I'm doing now, and I'm going to tell him this, is I'm moving this lineman here, because he's just as good as any other elf. I can hand it to the lineman, or throw it to the lineman, and then hand off to either one of those catchers down the field to score.
All right,
Yeah.
you can hand, but you don't. He doesn't have enough movement to or you can throw with him, but he doesn't have enough movement where you put him to hand it off, except for the lineman you use to base his catcher.
What you're doing is correct though. Like having a person,
Yeah, that's the right idea.
having a person to hand off to make a shorter throw is always a very good idea.
And then now you take your 2 die blocks because you're done rolling. You don't have anything else you have to do. So you put starting the more riskier things, which at this point is moving, 0 risk.
You want to move that
2 die
blitzer over
blocks.
1 and assist that line woman to punch on the other line woman.
Yes, because you followed.
Alright, well, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I wouldn't have done that, but thank you.
When you punched with the line woman that's in the middle of your line, you didn't want to follow that up.
Yeah, usually don't follow up if you didn't knock me down. If you're playing with like not a Beast of Nurgle or some ridiculously huge piece.
Now,
Okay,
in
so
this
the only
instance-
time you follow up is when you have somebody that's superior.
Be right back.
Straight.
Getting a drink.
Right, or if it doesn't matter because you knocked the guy down, that also works quite well.
Yeah, but moving that lineman up just simply means he can't give you an assist on that last block, so you needed to move that blitzer over to give the assist, which
Oh
I mean,
man,
you probably
we're
didn't have
still
another.
in a snowstorm here.
Yeah.
I want to move the thrower up to the
No,
line.
Don't
you're
bother.
fine, though. You're
He's
fine.
fine where he is.
If you make the GFIs, you gain 2 squares maximum. If
But
you
I
fail
gain
the
protection
GFIs,
on the thrower, though, don't
Oh,
I?
yeah,
no,
he can't
no,
get
no,
to your
he can't
throw
get to the
anyway.
ball anyway. He's got no one near enough to blitz you.
Like, your
Okay,
throw
I,
is-
I
blitz
swear,
you.
every time I play, I say they're not going to get to me, and then I'm swarmed with people.
Check it out. Like I'm
with
6
your
movement. My
advice,
closest
get
person to
just
you,
off the second lineman.
my closest people to you are these line women who are tied up by your linemen. If I make a million dodges and make 2 GFIs, I cannot get to your thrower.
Well, when you get to the end of your turn and you're fixing to pick it up with your thrower, just click on his guys and it'll give you it'll show exactly how far they can move, and just put yourself 1 square away from where they can get to.
Yeah, see, I've done that, and somehow I played Walrus with Undead, and his
Chain
skeletons
pushing.
are right on my ass.
He probably chain pushed guys into range of you. As I've said, Walrus is a jerk, but he is a very good player.
Yep, exceptionally good.
Walrus
I
is a
would rate
very
him
good player.
as- yeah,
Maybe
as
one of the best
probably
players
one
in the
of
group.
best. Yeah, definitely one of the best, and probably the one I'm most worried about playing. No disrespect to anyone else in the rest of the
Oh, yeah.
of the community. It's not that I don't respect other players; it's that I respect Walrus as a player. I rate him very highly, probably
Me too.
equal best.
Wait a minute,
I'd
you're
probably-
playing in Season 2?
Yes,
Yeah.
I am.
Lots of people are.
Man, y'all are gonna kill me.
There's like
Yeah, we're
60
gonna-
people in
that's why
season
No.
2, and we're here to help you.
Let me-
That's part of the reason.
Granted, this is a one-time thing, and it's small sample size, but just to put it out there, before Season 1 started, I had played 2 games of Blood Bowl, and I won.
And he won the
Season 1.
tournament.
Now, granted, that's a lot of happenstance, a lot of luck, but it's possible.
So-
don't count yourself out, because I thought I was going to lose every freaking game in this season because I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I was going to lose all the tournament games, which I'm sure annoyed the shit out of a lot of people.
So basically, all I've done here is I took out one of your catching threats. I can blitz one of them, and that's it. And I just piled up a bunch of guys around the others as best I could. And you're kind of in the same situation I am, where you can advance up and cage kind of safely and hold out for one more turn if you want, but you don't really have to. Like,
See, okay. If I may.
Okay, I'm thinking of going all for nothing here.
well,
Yeah,
You
Let
can
me do,
score right
let
now.
me do
Let-
my turn and tell me how bad it is, because I'm really not
Alright.
learning with you guys talking.
Fake, can you
first.
click his blitzer for me, please?
the one who is in scoring range,
Yeah.
he is 1 GFI away.
Okay. Does it? Okay.
Let me make this real easy for you. Well, actually, that's not
Alright.
that easy.
I can make this real easy. Pro elf catchers are completely nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, it's the catching the ball, getting the ball to him isn't the hard part. The hard
The
part.
hard part is there's going to be a dodge into a tackle zone and then another dodge unless he blitzes a guy away, which I assume he's going to attempt at some point. Knock away one of these obnoxious tackle zones.
I know how
I was going to say, yeah, it's
That
pretty
didn't
easy from
work.
this point.
Oh, it can still work. You just need to.
Well, I made it harder for myself.
No, that didn't make the dodge any more difficult.
Yeah, it's the exact same roll.
And actually, hold up a second. Wait a second.
No, he's-
What you want to do is take your lineman. Oh,
We are past that.
One die.
But it worked out okay.
Yeah, you could have done the same thing you just did, except move one of your linemen on the line of scrimmage to come assist that block, and make that 2 dice instead of 1. But you had the right idea.
And now you just go right for the pass.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you could have done
Oh,
was
the
move one
handoff,
of those
then the pass.
linemen up to mark the blitzer, land an assist, and then you could have thrown to the catcher,
Blitz with the catcher.
and then blitz the catcher out at two dice.
Yeah.
That would have been my attack, my angle of attack.
That's-
What
I
you
agree
did
with
is
that.
very similar
Just you've
and
the
is
odds
going to
are
work
more
out fine.
against you here.
So,
Is he in room? Is he in range to hand off to that lineman?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he's 6
Yes, he
foot
is.
away.
Okay, then yeah.
Absolutely.
Hand the lineman, run down, throw to the catcher. Make sure you run your lineman. He's probably already done it, but make sure when you do this, move your lineman to a place where he doesn't get an interception try.
Oh,
Like the-
wow.
well,
A 1. Wow.
you
Alright, well, all or nothing.
you would have had it, but you moved your lineman to a place where he was standing in the tackle zone of my thrower.
If you had moved one
Damn
square
it,
to
I
your
missed
left,
that. If I would have moved
Yeah,
one
one
over,
square to the
I would've
left,
had
and he
it.
would have made that.
yeah.
Yep.
That said,
See,
it's
the
not
easy
the end of the
thing-
world.
The
So-
basic things and the angles kill me.
That's
just comes
the hard
with
part.
practice.
It comes
Have
with
you-
practice.
Yeah.
Do you hit G when you play? Do you see a bunch of yellow boxes around his players?
Do you have the grid turned on? The G?
Yeah, I have the grid
Okay,
turned
good.
on, and like I said, angles kill me every single time.
Oh, it's not so bad. Like,
Yeah,
it's turn 8 and
that's
he's
something you get to
really
get
hard for
used
him to
to.
score.
He actually can't score.
No, I cannot.
Okay, well,
You
seeing
can,
how
but it's
bad
really
I am
tough.
at the game, I didn't realize it was still the first half. I thought we moved into the second.
Not yet.
No,
Yeah, no, at this point, it's one apiece, and you're receiving next half, so it's not terrible. If you had have scored there, that would have been better, but
That would have been
It
icing
would
on the
have been
cake.
amazing. 2 off
They had
getting
like
the
equal
ball.
supply, but
I could
But
score whenever I wanted
you can
to in
still
the second
score
half.
this half. Like, there's a chance. There's always Elfie bullshit. You could still score this half. It's not
Yeah,
super
it's-
likely, but it's still totally doable.
All yours.
Alright, well, he only put one person on the ball, so if I can get
Mhm.
that catcher out of the way, I have a chance.
All right. So what you have
Now, just to figure this out, don't tell me. Let me see if I do it wrong.
Okay.
No, I appreciate all the help. I
No,
just
that's fine.
don't
Learn by
learn
doing.
unless I
that's,
mess
yeah,
up.
that's definitely
That's
I'm
about
the exact same way. Learn by doing, dude. Looks pretty good so far.
the only thing I would have changed. Actually,
I'm okay. I
I
missed
would've
something
moved the
here.
lineman.
How do I only have a 1 die block on this blitzer from all 3 of my guys around him?
because they're all marked.
Because
They're all marked by blitzers.
they are all in the tackle zone of some other player of mine, so none of them are providing an assist.
Well,
I-
when you-
That
in a
was
situation like
the
this-
idea behind my defense. Was I'm trying to make it so your blocks are difficult and your passes are difficult.
Move
That's
your-
why there's only
move
one on
your-
the ball.
Move your thrower next to his catcher.
All right, GR5. This will be fun.
Oh wait, if it's GFI, don't do it.
Too late. Re-rolled and failed.
Oh, that's not good.
And thrower
Better than-
out for the game.
Okay. Hey, Fake, can you hit menu, please, for a second? Or you're in the turnover screen. Never mind.